Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now guys, let's talk Joseph Parker. Y'all know we roll with Joe. Right? For years. We roll with Joe because we know that Joseph Parker is a good heavyweight fighter, right? But you know, it's not too many people that give Joseph Parker his respect, right? Even though he was a heavyweight champion, right? We were talking about it the other day when I was saying that the heavyweight division looks pretty weak. The top 10 heavyweights looks pretty weak, right? Which I really don't agree with. But, you know, I did that in the video. The bottom line with Joseph Parker is, you know, he doesn't get that respect of being a top-notch heavyweight because he's held the title, WBO title, when he beat Andy Ruiz Jr., and people didn't give him, you know, so much props or recognition from beating Andy Ruiz Jr. So, and when he stepped up, really what you would consider stepping up, he has an L on his records, right? Now, we know, as people who roll with Joe, that there's some funny business in his two most notorious losses, right? High-profile losses to Anthony Joshua in England, where the referee couldn't speak no damn English. I would say that every time I talk about Joseph Parker. I don't give a damn. You get a referee from Italy to ref a fight with two people who speak English. Why would you do that? The dude could only say break. And he said it a lot because he did not let Joseph Parker do any inside fighting versus Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is chinny. So Joseph Parker was going to do some inside work. One thing that I'm pretty sure we can all agree on with Joseph Parker is he has a good chin, right? So in that fight, it was still a close fight with all of those things going against Joseph Parker. He couldn't even do any inside fighting. So I didn't really rate that as a loss. Me, you know what I'm saying? And that's one of the reasons I like Joseph Parker, because Joseph Parker doesn't complain about stuff like that. He's like, I should have did more, you know, and looks at himself. He doesn't just point fingers and makes excuses. That's one of the reasons. Now, I'm going to make excuses for him. Damn it, Joseph Parker would have beat Anthony Joshua. Now, if they fight again, if they would have fought any time, I think he would beat Anthony Joshua. That's just me. You know, you guys can think whatever you want. So that's one. Then the other one was Dillian Whyte. And this is when Dillian Whyte was Dillian Whyte, right? That fight, I'll just fast forward to the end. Who wanted that fight to end? Dillian Whyte, because Dillian Whyte was out on his feet at the end of that fight. Now, Joseph Parker's beating Dillian Whyte in round 1 or 2, I think it was. 2, I think it was, if I can remember correctly. It would have been a 10-9 round for Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker gets headbutted and goes down from a headbutt. Who gets 10-8 round? Dillian Whyte. 10-8 round. And I think Joseph Parker was concussed. He was dropped with a super left hook by your boy later in the fight, but I think Joseph Parker fought concussed in that fight. So, and I don't think Dillian Whyte beat him either. You know what I'm saying? I got my little doubts about that too. So those are two losses that he got that I'm like, okay, you know. Now, losing to Joe Joyce, okay, he lost that fight. You know what I'm saying? You know, whatever. That one you lost. But Joseph Parker is still a top-notch heavyweight, right? And so, but he doesn't get the props for it until now. I think that Joseph Parker is getting the respect he deserves. He's probably going to get more respect going forward. His last 3 wins were really great wins. We were talking about him yesterday. You know, the Martin Bakole, okay, on short notice, but you still beat Martin Bakole. You beat Deontay Wilder, and you beat Sheila Shane, right? Even after going down twice. I think people understand that. All 3 of those guys should be top 10 heavyweights, period, right? Deontay Wilder, you know, on the downside of his career, but it's still Deontay Wilder. You have to do that first. You have to be in that fight. You have to make sure that you don't get hit with the right hand the whole damn fight. And he was able to do that, which shows his defensive prowess. So I think he's getting his respect. And here's the newest thing. That fight with Alexander Usyk might not happen. The WBO has ordered it, and hopefully they negotiate. But even if they don't, because let me make sure this is clear, we roll with Joe, but Alexander Usyk ain't got to do a damn thing. I don't think Alexander Usyk has anything to prove. Alexander Usyk can, retire a little while or retire for good. He's a Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the best cruiserweights in the history, if not the best cruiserweight. He's in the top 10 heavyweights of history, because you can only beat who's in your time, right? We got more people in this era, because he basically just cleaned out the island, beat everybody in England, right? And people are going to be saying, well, he only beat up English guys and stuff like that. Well, the English guys happened to be at the top at the time, right? So we don't have nothing else, to prove. If he never fights Joseph Parker, that's not going to taint his legacy, right? So he might not fight Joseph Parker, and it is what it is. Even if they, mandate him to do it, and he just says, well, I'm going out, it's not high profile enough, I'm not fighting him, whatever, right? But here is where it comes in, with respect for Joseph Parker, and what I think should happen. Joseph Parker shouldn't have to fight nobody for the title. I said in another video he should. I've changed my mind on that. I don't think Joseph Parker should have to fight anybody because of what he's already done, and because he was trying to fight Daniel Dubois for that eliminator, for that IBF title. Dubois pulls out very late. Not Joseph Parker pulls out, Dubois pulls out very late, right? So he's already did what he was supposed to do, you know what I'm saying? And beating Martin Bakole. It's not like somebody else says they're not going to fight him, and then Joseph should have to fight an eliminator, a title match against somebody else. No, Joseph Parker should just be given the damn WBO title, and then he could defend it. If the WBO says, okay, within 90 days, you need to defend it against somebody who's crystallized themselves as somebody worthy, that okay. But Joseph Parker needs to be called the champion if he doesn't fight Usyk, because he's ready to fight Usyk. He was ready to fight Dubois. You know what I mean? That's not his fault. So we can't just keep saying, hey, Joseph, man, all these stuff keep happening, you got to do some stuff. No, we roll with Joe for show. And, he should be the champion. So Joseph Parker is probably going to be elevated to the WBO champion. We're going to be happy. Then we can start talking about who else he can fight. Usyk ain't got to fight him. Let's make sure that's clear. We want to be fair here. Usyk ain't got to do a damn thing. He's done enough. Because make sure, but if you're thinking, no, he hasn't, blah, blah, blah. Your fighter go to everybody's backyard to beat them. Your fighter complains about if he ain't fighting at home, right? Usyk goes to everybody's backyard to fight him. There's no negotiation problems. Have you ever heard of that? Damn it, that has to count for something. Matter of fact, that has to count for damn near everything. We have to deal with all of these other prima donnas and spoiled brats. Usyk is not one of them. He's done enough, period. Joseph Parker, if they don't fight, Joseph Parker should be elevated to the WBO champion and get the respect that he deserves by being called a champion, which we all know he is. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.